Dove. There's a lot of pigeons. Kongsing in Shaanxi Province, Crane Shu in Shandong Province, Armpit in Guizhou Province, Jumping in Henan Province, and Jujian in Wu are all excellent pigeons. In addition, there are boots, ideas, large white, black stone, couple sparrow, canine eye, and so on. There are many kinds of name, countless. Only those who play pigeon can clearly identify. There is a Mr. Chang, Yuliang of Zhuping County, and a special love of pigeons. He scoured the landscape for the cultivars listed in the Book of Pigeons. He raises pigeons as if he were raising babies, and when it's cold, he treats them with licorice powder, and when it's hot, he gives them salt pellets. Pigeons sleep well, but they sleep too much and die of numbness. Mr. Zhang bought a pigeon in 12 silver flowers of Yangju, the smallest of which is very fond of walking. He put it on the ground and circled it. He won't stop until he dies. So, you usually need someone to hold it. At night, it is placed in the flock of pigeons, causing it to alert other pigeons to prevent paralysis. This pigeon, they call it night swimming. Mr. Zhang, who is best known for his family in the Shandong area, also boasts about his pigeon breeding ethos. One night, Mr. Zhang was sitting alone in Shizhai when a young man in white kicked in. Mr. Zhang, who never knew him, asked him who he was and replied, "What's the name of the person who wanders around? It's rumored that Mr. Gong has the most pigeons, the favorite in my life, and is willing to watch you." Mr. Zhang shows off all the pigeons he has raised, all the pigeons in different colors, and all the bright colors. The teenager laughed and said, "What a myth. Dude is a man of all fame. I have one or two of them too. Would you like to watch them?" Mr. Zhang was happy to listen, so he went with the boy. The moon is hazy, the fields are depressing, and Mr. Zhang is fearful of doubt. The teenager pointed forward and said, "Please take another walk. My place is not far from here. A few more steps and a monastery with only 2 rooms." The teenager walked in with Mr. Zhang's hand in his hand, and the yard was dim with no lights. The teenager stood in the center of the yard and learned the sound of pigeons. Suddenly, 2 pigeons flew out, shaped like normal pigeons, but their feathers were so white that they flew as high as the eaves, whistling their fists and turning their heads every time they made a dive. The boy waved his arms, and the 2 pigeons flew together. The teenager clenches his lips and makes a strange sound, and 2 pigeons fly out, big as a duck, small as a fist. And 2 stand side by side on the steps, learning to dance with the crane. The large extended neck is stretched out, 2 wings are opened, and the shape of a peacock is opened, and the large extended neck is screamed and jumped as if the small pigeon is being led. The small pigeon is whistling up and down, and sometimes flies to the head of the large pigeon. And the wings are plump, like a swallow flying on a cattail leaf, and the sound is finely broken, like a small drum is knocked. The large extended neck is not moved. The louder the sound, the crisper the sound becomes. The 2 pigeons shouted together, intermingled and in tune with each other. Then the little pigeon flies, and the big pigeon swings up and down to seduce it. With admiration, Mr. Zhang felt his pigeon was unworthy, sighing. Mr. Zhang gave a salute to the teenager, asking him to be able to cut off his love. The teenager disagrees, and Mr. Zhang begs. After letting the 2 dancing pigeons fly away, the teenager learns the voice of the former pigeons, invites the 2 white pigeons to come and reaches for them, and says to Mr. Zhang, "If you don't want to abandon them, give them to you for talking about choking." Zhang hands the 2 pigeons and watches carefully. Only 2 eyes of the pigeon are amber and bright in the moonlight. As if there is no space between them, the black eyes in the middle are as round as pepper particles. Lift the wings of the pigeon, and the muscles between the ribs, like crystal, can be seen clearly in the viscera. Mr. Zhang felt strange, but still unsatisfied, begging the teenager to give him a few more. The teenager said, "I have 2 other things I can't dare to give, and I'm afraid to ask you to watch them again." The 2 men had just been in an altercation, and the family had lit a stubble to find their owner. Looking back at the boy, Mr. Zhang has become a white pigeon, as big as a chicken, and flies. And then you look at the courtyard, the house, and it's gone. Just a little grave, 2 cypress trees. Mr. Zhang and his family returned with horror as they hugged the white pigeon. Back home, the experiment was to fly white pigeons, exceptionally well regulated, and to fly as fast as we first saw them. It's not exactly the best breed of young pigeons, but it's also unique. Mr. Zhang is very prepared for 2 pigeons. 2 years later, the doves had 3 male pigeons each, not even family or friends. A friend of Mr. Zhang's father is a noble official. One day, saw my son and said, "How many pigeons have you got?" Mr. Zhang responded with caution, then backed down. Doubting that some man is a pigeon lover, he wants to give away to pigeons, but he can't. The elder asks not to be too disgraceful, and dare not give him a mediocre pigeon. Instead, choose 2 white pigeons, which he cages to give to him. He thinks it is a gift, and they are less precious. After a few days, Mr. Zhang met Mr. Zhang, and his face was very proud of his achievements. In the public speaking room, Mr. Zhang did not say anything about thanking him for giving pigeons to him. Unable to bear it, Mr. Zhang asked, "Did the pigeon I sent the day before yesterday taste good?" A grandfather replied, "Pretty fat too." Mr. Zhang said in surprise, "Have adults cooked the pigeons?" A male replied, "Yes. This is not an ordinary pigeon, Mr. Zhang said, sounding alarmed. "It's what's normally called the Daria. It doesn't taste very special," recalls one man. Mr. Zhang returned home with regret. At night, Mr. Zhang dreamed that Mr. Bai would meet him and reprimanded him, saying, "I thought you could love pigeons so much that I entrusted you with my children and grandchildren. How can you cast the pearl in the dark and cause my children and grandchildren to die in the pans and pings? Today, leading my children and grandchildren, all the white pigeons in Mr. Zhang's nursery flew with it. Tomorrow, Mr. Zhang went to see the white pigeons in the cage, and they were gone. I regret it, and then I give my pigeons to my friends, and within days they're separated."
Alright, this story has come to an end. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you.